Okay, so we're starting a little late, and I apologize for not having sent out any minutes or agenda to you guys. I didn't realize that until earlier today. So I sent them off to Catherine, and she said she posted them, and I believe her. I just can't find them on the county. I can't find any of the subcommittees on the county website. So I was going to read you what the minutes said, which they were very, very, very simple, and you can see if you will approve that, because that's one of the things I was saying. I'm not feeling like maybe I'm doing my job here.
You're doing fine. You are doing fine. Believe me, you're great.
Here we go. Meeting is called to order at 7:10. Present were members Dave Anderson, Patty Garcia, Olivia Roseberry. No,
not Olivia.
Not Olivia. Oh my God, Liz Lafferty. I showed you how crazy I am. I'm going to have to make Catherine change that.
I'll take Olivia's youth.
Yeah. Oh, she's great. She's on another of the committees that I'm on. So, okay, Liz Lafferty and Anne Marie Shanks. It was agreed that electronic.
Don't forget Dave.
He was the very first one.
Okay, cool.
He's A, Anderson.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. It was agreed that electronic signatures may be something to ask for in the future, and further research is necessary. It was agreed that banning paid signatures should be included. The required financial component was discussed. Further research is necessary. No public comment was presented, and the meeting was adjourned at 8:05. I didn't say anything about that we were going to talk to people because I didn't know how set in stone that was. And I know I was going to talk to Carmelin, and I didn't do that, but I still can. Anyway, that was the minutes of last week's meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve with correction?
I move to approve these. Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, they might like our notes because the recordings actually become I believe the minutes. Is that what you that's what I'm understanding?
I had understood, but then it sounded like the full commission wanted to have actual.
Oh, I gotcha.
And that these are more important than I thought they were.
Okay.
Because I do have notes that I take, which I wouldn't want to be called minutes because they're just, somebody said such and so. And they're sort of like what Olivia did, not Olivia, Jane, when she was telling what happened in her. It was a step by step. And that's what I have been doing sometimes, who says what, and it brings back the meeting. I'm not doing that as much anymore. Right. But yeah. So to me, we had those issues. And I think at this point, I don't know, I'm still set on my little setting the thing down. If we can just come up with an agreement that that's one of the things we want to present. The cap on signatures. I don't mean cap, but the
lowering percentage.
The lowering of the percentage, yeah.
Penny, I just need to own, because I'm pretty sure that I agreed to reach out to Rhea and to Madrona, and I did not do either of those. So
okay, so
and it's
next week.
Yeah, I'm looking at this week, and so I think it's important to reach out to both of them. And I still want to promise it again and not do it. I don't like doing that. So
that's where I felt.
Yeah, so yeah. This week is going to continue to be crazy, and then next week will get better for me. So I will attempt to do it this week, and if not, I can commit to doing it the following week.
Yes. And I'll talk to Carolyn too. And I think what we were trying to talk about was who, as far as me talking to Carolyn, it was to try finding out who the original, what is it called?
Freeholders.
Some freeholders were.
I have to start with freeloaders, and I go, no, it's not freeloaders.
I love it. Who were the original freeholders, to see if we can talk to any of them. And that's
Because
just
we wanted to find out from them why they put the cap in. And we wanted to find out from them why the 15%, and also why the initiative could not cost any money.
Yeah.
Is that right? That was kind of what I was thinking.
That was my understanding in reaching out to Rhea and Madrona to check in
Yes,
about those
that
two
we're
things.
trying to get to the bottom of, because
Okay.
what we're trying to do is make a case for support about why we think it should be lower.
Yes.
And then I'm going to try to find out why some of these other counties have lower ones. But that's probably going to be like towards the end of, I've got like 2 weeks where all I'm doing is the climate stuff. I have all these meetings with climate people. So that'll be into April, maybe like the week of April 12th. I could have that information for us for sure. I just need, to block out some time to do the research.
I want to say, I think that's great. Okay. I think that we're all kind of getting overwhelmed with all of the committees that we're on, and some of them are really, taking some time. I think our goal here is to go ahead and, I don't know, nobody was offering to write the findings for this lowering the percentage, right? So I think I'll have to do that because I think our goal is to go ahead and at least draft a reason why.
Right. And we're going to provide you with information, hopefully, to do that.
And so, and the next one was to draft, if we can, figure out what we want to do about the financial side of it. So Dave, would you want to take that on sort of to?
Yeah, I proposed it, and I was
sort of come up with something that's reasonable to present to the big commission, why we want this.
Mhm.
And I guess we need, go ahead.
Is this something we want to do kind of all together, all three at the same time, or do we want to just focus one at a time?
Well, I'm thinking, I hate homework because I don't do it well. But that's the only time, you really have time to sit there and think, but everything else is going on in our lives. And it's all at home because of COVID. And if we do get out, we get out for reasons. So maybe we should take these one at a time. Liz,
I was going to ask Dave,
Dave,
what was your thinking in raising that question?
I've just always been assuming we'd always do all three or how many ever we're going to do at once. But I mean,
okay.
it just
Well,
what you're
that sounds
saying right
good.
now, it makes sense. I mean, I would almost be interested in a vote, just a kind of a preliminary vote to see how we feel about the three main ones we're talking about. Do we feel pretty good that we're going to actually want to advance all three or two, or?
Actually, there were four. I think. Well, let's see. What did I do? Oh.
We have lower the cap, disconnect from financial, however we word that.
Okay, lowering signatures, financial limitation clause, banning the paid signature gathering, and possible electronic signatures.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
That was it.
And then we've added paid signatures. No paid signatures.
Banning paid signatures was one.
And that's one that we have to probably have Kevin take to Randy to see if we can do, I think. I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, I think he has to push everything by Randy. I mean, that's
well, I know, but I just don't know legally if we can do that.
Banning paid signature gathering?
Uh-huh.
God, I wonder why it's legal, but then that's me.
What do you think, Dave?
I don't know. I was thinking that might be worth a call to the Secretary of State's office. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
but I mean, I think, I mean, you're talking like some kind of a First Amendment
Yeah.
right to,
But we were,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we were trying to make it as part of the process that, yeah, how could you ban paid signature gathering? I guess you can't really, but that's one way to buy an initiative is to
Right.
buy up the signatures.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, would you be willing to make that call to the Secretary of State? Because it would be interesting to have that perspective when Randy says whatever it is Randy says.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that something you'd be up for doing?
Yeah, I'd probably do an email.
Okay,
yeah.
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 Thank you.
That'd be good.
Yeah. I
Let
did a
that
free,
be-
I did a free write. I was like just doing dishes and I did a free write on it and said, the voice of the San Juan County voters is not for sale. It's it's just, I went for like a whole page on that. But so, yeah, I'd be happy to call this Secretary of State's office or
Well, I
email them.
think it's, if
Yeah.
we start thinking about 10 years out, to me, that could be a really big issue 10 years out. You
Mhm.
know, the paid signature gathering. I don't know, but it seems to me it could be. You
Well,
know, if people want to ban plastic. I think the plastics people, plastic bag people, or the, you know, whoever it was, came into the Capitol really big, you know, and I think that the vacation rental groups that were anti-vacation or wanted to slow down the vacation rentals, they were aware that Airbnb was bringing people in. So as lobbyists. So anyway, I think it's kind of just important for us to remember we're doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
And we may not
The
be,
other-
Dave may be
the
the only one here.
The other side, yeah,
I don't know about that.
is the electronic signatures, which could be a reality in 10 years or before. And once
Right,
you
but
get
that sounded like that was kind of outside our scope. I mean, it seemed like we could put language in that would say if it's possible, you know,
Right,
but everybody was saying,
well, if it's possible, we kind of need to look toward that and say, how are we going to handle that if it's possible?
Were we given electronic voting as well from the town hall meetings?
Well, we were in a way because I spoke up because they were going to stick that on elections. And I said, I told Kevin that we were actually kind of discussing that in our committee. And he said, oh,
Okay.
great, you can have it. So I don't know whether, you know, it really is an issue. It certainly isn't an issue for right now, but I think we have to think about it for the future and maybe do some words that will allow it to happen.
so
I
when
don't
we
know.
talk about electronic voting, are we talking about doing that on our computers
Yeah.
versus doing our mail-ins?
Yeah, like VeriSign.
Yeah. And
And
I
it's-
don't know.
And it's, so for my brain, it's like impossible that it won't happen. You know, that the
Yeah.
direction is so in that direction. And it may not even be my computer or my handheld. It's going to be the chip on my arm that,
Yeah.
you know, I walk past this pillar instead of that pillar and it casts my vote for me kind of thing. So I understand we've been saying that it's not really on our list, but the truth of it is, for me, I can't imagine that it's not going to be
Right.
the direction that happens.
Well, that's
Okay,
the hard.
so electronic voting is also on our list.
So we don't really know what that's going to look like right now, but by next year we might. I mean, you know, these things happen so quickly, and just because, like you say, because we don't know what it's like right now doesn't mean it's not going to happen very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
Money
Then
is
we
becoming-
have 5 issues, right?
Okay, 5 issues. Tell me what all 5 of them are.
Let me see if I can get them. So we have the lowering the cap. We have
Uh-huh.
the, however we're going to word the money part of it. We have
Yeah.
the no paid signature gatherers. That's 3. And then we have the electronic voting, and 4 and 5 is?
Electronic signatures.
That
I
was,
think I said that one already.
Oh, okay.
What am I missing?
Yeah. I think there were only 4.
Okay.
Don't we have 5 going?
Was it, is it electronic signatures and then electronic voting?
Electronic voting, yes. 2 different
Oh.
things.
Okay, and because electronic voting is
Oh,
from, although I guess electronic voting would be more the elections purview. It's not really in our purview.
Yeah, we're initiatives and referendum. We're doing electronic signatures.
Signatures, which was what they were bringing up, but
Right.
electronic voting is something that would be somebody else.
yeah, because I mean, it's gonna be fingerprint driven. It's gonna be, laser, your iris. It's,
Well, I have a question here. Does our charter need to address this? Or is this something that just comes as the technology comes? And just like we do mail-in voting, our charter doesn't say we can do mail-in voting, but of course that's because the state does it. But I mean, how limited is the charter? Does it have to state how things are done as far as voting is concerned?
that's a great question, Patty. And, what language is necessary in the charter to
To allow for
capture
future
the,
technology. Yeah.
right? Yeah, and I don't, whew. It's something I want more brain capacity to think about.
Well, my thing about the charter is that it's something that is the basis for which we do our governing, okay? And it should be as basic and simple as possible, and yet get to specifics when needed. But you don't want to throw in all kinds of language that's unnecessary, and you want it to come up with the spirit of the islands, the spirit of our county, and be able to to govern. And there are things in the charter. I mean, these different committees, one of the committees that I'm on is talking about having the elected officials and the other county officials all be using the personnel manual and those rules that are in the personnel manual. And so the whole county is run by one system. And at this point, electeds are exempt. Those are things that can be changed in the charter that are actually what the government, does. And what we're doing, I mean, we have this whole thing about initiatives, and I'm not sure whether we need to address electronic signatures in this or not, because it's just something that's going to happen as the technology gets better, and pretty soon when electronic signatures are accepted, then we should be able to use them to, as long as they're signatures, electronic or regular, they'd still be the number that you need for initiatives. So I'm not sure whether we need to put that in there, in the charter. Dave?
I think it would be good at least to send up a red flag that this is a concern of the commission. It might not be a part worth of the charter, but just sending a red flag, this is the future, we recognize that. And
Right.
this could have a constitutional or charter issue in the future, and that the future in the 10 years might really need to address this.
Yeah, and how does the charter actually deal with that? And maybe the charter can deal with it by stating that this may happen, and we'll cross that bridge when it comes. Or, I don't know, but yeah, it needs to be recognized. Yeah. Yeah. The full commission can address that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Dave. I think we can just make a recommendation that this is coming.
And I know at the last meeting, because we have presentations, which are great, you know, the last big commission meeting, they were talking about, okay, we need to get all our subcommittees together and have everybody know what everybody else is doing. And that's why, you know, the idea is you can read the minutes and you can, I just have to find out where they are. But I'm hoping that there'll be more time in our big meeting for us to really say where we're at and, you know, bring things back to the full commission to be discussed if it's appropriate. I don't know. What do you think? Is it time, like in 2 weeks, to think that the full commission might start working on stuff? That's going to be the middle of April already, almost 3 weeks. I don't know. But I appreciate that maybe we should just back off for a week and try getting our minds around these issues and talk to people and come back in 2 weeks and talk about it. I don't know. Maybe we're saying the same thing over and over again, except I'd love to meet with you.
So my sense is we're going to continue to have speakers.
Yeah.
And until one of the committees asks for time on the agenda, now maybe I'm wrong. This is just catching the flow. Unless we ask for time on the agenda to present something to the full commission and to discuss it with the full commission,
it won't.
It's going to be pushed until the very end. And at this point, we're not really ready to do that. But I think we could have in our notes that we think that the electronic voting is coming and that the e-signature is coming, and that these are things that are going to be really driven by the state versus, you know, by the Secretary of State versus by us, if that's the right venue. I'm just kind of winging it here. And that we don't really think that's something that our committee or the charter needs to take up for an amendment at this time. And then we have our other issues, which are the cap or the signatures, the financing, and what's the third one?
That's it.
No paid signatures.
No paid signatures.
Oh,
Those three that
Okay.
we're really looking at. And if we have that in our minutes, and then maybe Dave talks to the Secretary of State and we find out no paid signatures isn't in our bailiwick, we put that out there that this is something we'd really like to have pursued. And we're not sure how to, I mean, I don't, if the state says we can't do that,
Yeah.
I don't know how we go about
that we're working on it.
These are the ones we're working
Bring
on.
it to there, yeah.
Yeah.
Mentioned.
I think that's well said, Anne Marie.
Yes.
Kind of captures where we are and
Down, but I hope I got it. Yeah, good.
And then maybe we reconvene. Are you thinking, Patty, on the 12th after we've had a little bit of time to do some homework?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Just give everybody a chance to work on their other committees also, and give Dave a chance to get feedback from the Secretary of State. And
Sure.
if he can think about wording for a possible lowering of the financial onus, whatever that is. And in the meantime, I guess, well, I don't know, because part of it is to talk to the freeholders and see what their thinking was, if we can find out about that. So I'll get with Camelin and see if I can get a list of the freeholders and email that out to you.
That'd be good.
If anybody knows any
Some
of them and can talk to them. And we can always give feedback on that issue, say by email.
Right.
Because there's only 4 of us. And maybe we don't really need to meet until the 12th.
more.
I'm willing to meet before then, but
And Anne Marie, wasn't Maureen, was she on the freeholders?
You know, I don't know if she was a
I don't think
freeholder or not. I don't think she was a freeholder.
He
Bill,
was
Bill
one of the-
Appel might have been.
Nah, I don't
No?
know. When I talked to
I thought
Bill,
he was on the last two.
well, you know, the original freeholders and then the review, they're different. And the
Right.
review, I think Bill and Maureen were reviewers, but I
Okay.
don't think they were freeholders.
Okay.
Was
Good.
Paul Dossett?
I'm not sure.
One thing Kevin is trying to do, just as an aside, in terms of we were talking about local government, he's trying to get I think a legal opinion, he said, that would equate freeholders as commissioners, saying that they're the same and that we couldn't be considered freeholders, but that's something totally different in terms of how.
So
they're-
what does that mean?
His name.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either. Thank you.
Freeholders, I think, are appointed by the council to write a charter, and commissioners are elected to review a charter. In terms of the idea of creating a local government, in terms of the way to do that would be a city county government charter. That can only be created by freeholders, and that I guess that he's arguing that we are freeholders, and that we could create a city county government
I
charter.
don't think it's right.
Yeah, I'm not saying either, but I think he's trying to make the equation there. So, but
I think
It's a good
actually,
exercise for him.
what?
I said it's a good exercise for him.
Right.
I was looking at the calendar and I think the 12th of April is too far ahead.
Yeah.
That's 3 weeks. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I'm willing. I mean, I really, like all of you, I enjoy this group, and I'm
we can
willing.
get,
Yeah, and we can just keep it short if we haven't moved it forward. And if not, because I am gonna, try to reach out to Rhea and
there you go.
Madrona. I just won't promise that until the following week. So let's go ahead, unless anybody is object, let's go ahead and meet next Monday and see if we can keep forwarding our conversation.
Yeah, I was just saying that my window is the 12th to deliver on background information on the percentages from the other counties.
Okay,
I've got my homework lined up.
got it. Yeah.
Aren't these public meetings? And I think, aren't they already scheduled? And I mean, I wonder if could we just cancel them? I guess we could,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't we have to put out a notice if we cancel them?
Just, I think just on the website, because I know
Yeah.
the Saturday meeting was canceled when we had the town halls. So we didn't meet regularly that Saturday morning, and she just canceled it.
Right.
And so it just canceled. You don't have
And-
to put it in.
Anne Marie, are you voting that we don't meet this coming Monday?
No, I'm
Okay.
cool with meeting. What I was saying was for my
Yeah.
homework, my due date for that assignment is April 12th. Just so
So
I
let's
can,
that
make
on hold.
sure I can get it done.
Okay,
Like you, I don't want to say I'll do it and then not
Yeah.
deliver.
not delivered, yeah.
Oh, we'll put that one on hold and keep working on the other one.
Or sure enough.
yeah.
Hey,
How do we feel? And you said that we're not going to start taking up issues on the commission until something is delivered. How do you feel where we should be in line to deliver something? I mean, do we want to be in the front of the line to say we have these really important issues that we want on the ballot soon? Because I feel our issues are fairly simple and fairly easy to develop and even easy sell.
yeah, me too.
For some reason, I don't even know that I agree with my own thinking, but I do like the idea of being early out the gate and, having something. So even if we presented it as, our subcommittee is looking at 3 issues, and right now what we want to do is we want to bring one of those that we've clarified our thinking around and put that out to all of you. I mean, even if we did it that way, instead of having all 3 segments clarified. Your thoughts, that's, just thinking out loud
Let's
there.
wait until we have one clarified. And we may have all 3 clarified about the same time, but yes, let's get out there as soon as.
Well,
we
the
have-
other thing about presenting earlier is our group will get tired and they may move more into a no zone. And early on, if we do it early, we might get enough feedback to figure out other information we need to get. I mean, that's to me the benefit of presenting, especially if we have a good case for support, is we get some opposition, and we can figure out what other information we need, and then we ask them if we can come back again in a month, or we tell them we'd like to come back in a month based on the information we gleaned from them.
Oh, there you go, Anne Marie. I love that. That's much better than my gut tells me to get out there early. So yes. Well said.
Okay, so I'm thinking that we should shoot for like the middle of April, the one after that, maybe somewhere.
Or
in
the
there.
1st of May.
Well, the 1st of May for sure will be ready by then.
Yeah.
Okay. And hopefully others will too, because they wanted to get this thing done by June.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Sounds like they've got a lot of them are moving slower than us.
And the other side of the issue is, I know it was Bill or somebody brought up the fact that this coming election, not going to be that many people involved, maybe, but the next election, there'll be more people at the polls, just because it's a,
2022. Yeah.
Yeah. So it depends on what kind of people we expect to show up for this election, whether we want these kinds of things to be dealt with. This is all politics, but it is important. And this commission can last until the end of the year.
Right.
So
and that's one of the things, that's good thinking, Patty, because that's one of the things. We may have a couple issues that we want on in November and a couple issues we'd rather have on the following year.
It's possible. Yeah.
We'll have to talk to our campaign people about that.
I hate politics. By the way, have you guys done your financial statements? I haven't done that yet. Again, I found that so onerous the first time.
What?
Well, they send you emails that you've got to do what, the F1 form or whatever it is. You've seen those emails, right? Where we're supposed to recertify something. Because I know Kevin addressed that. He said, "Hey, you guys, you got to do this. I've had some questions about it."
Did you do it before? I checked and it said I didn't need to do that. Did you do it before when we filed?
Well, I don't exactly know what it is, but I remember calling them one time when they asked me for something, and I didn't have to do it because I didn't have a committee and all that. But I did have to do a financial statement. So did you guys do a financial statement when you first got elected?
Yes, I spent a lot of time with the PDC. Is that what it's called? In fact, I spent so much time with them that they came back and surveyed me and wanted to pay me with a survey to see how well they were doing.
Wow.
Because I found the whole thing very, very cumbersome. And I sent in written documents. And, if I had known I was going to have to do all of this, I probably wouldn't have run. And that I just found it very, very cumbersome because I had no plans to have a committee. I didn't, plan on raising any money or doing anything like that. And yet I had to go through all of those hoops, and I had to tell them I bought my home in the 1980s. I had to tell them who I got the loan from, how much the loan was for. I had to go through all of my financial holdings, and we're retired.
I know.
It was like,
Anne-Marie, did I skip a step? Because I did not. I just remember checking. I'm not, spending more than $2,000, and I'm not gonna have and that was the end of it.
I don't know. I did all this stuff, and then they sent me that F1 form thing. So at first I blew it off, and then before I saw Kevin's thing, I heard about somebody else who got fined because they hadn't done something. And my sense was they were either Park and Rec or they were board of supervisors, working with the schools. And I was like, so I sent one in just in March because I wasn't sure even when the deadline was. I was like, oh God, I got to get this done, and just did it. But
Probably shouldn't
I
have-
think it's absolutely ridiculous.
I probably shouldn't have brought this up in the middle of our meeting. It's being recorded.
It's okay, because they've already heard me say all this stuff.
But it
And
is
you know, I tell it like it is.
Well, I felt exactly the same way. And I remember seeing somebody on the, I don't know, with the last election for something, and somebody had dropped out. I think it was hospital district or something, because they didn't want to do a financial statement. I totally understand that, but it sort of made me think, God, that's putting an onerous thing on that person that they don't want to declare their finances. I don't think there was a way to avoid it. I don't know. Liz, if you avoided it, you must have figured out a way. And Dave, if you avoided it, you must have figured out a way. But I know I asked him.
Yeah.
Right.
It said that I had done my work, that I think, but I haven't had to do anything since I filed. So I'm going to check, I'm going to call again and make sure.
Yeah.
They send out an email. So maybe.
Well, the other side of it isn't just that you have to do it. It's you're putting all that information in the public
Mhm.
domain.
Yeah.
That's really what
Not good.
it bothers me more, is that now there's all this information about me in terms of the public, and there's no reason
Yeah.
for that to be out there. It's not like I'm not a county council member. I'm not a congressional
We're
member.
not-
I'm not going to be influenced by money.
We don't even have a budget to spend.
Right.
Right. We don't have any fiduciary responsibilities.
Right. So
Really?
it's like-
I know. So, yeah. Okay,
but
guys.
spend time with them, because you'll like doing the survey later, and it's interesting, and we're helping government.
Yeah.
That was my thing. Well, I'm helping government, trying to improve the process. So just be cool.
Yeah. You need to give them a call. So we have 4 things that is it 4 things that we're working on, and we're going to
Right.
develop the language around them.
And one of them we're going to hold off until April 14, because Emery will get back to us on that. And that's the first issue. I'll still come up with language to
It'll be the
support it.
12th.
The 12th. Okay, sorry. Yeah. It's the
In
12th.
which, in which
I don't know
issue
why
are
I
you?
had the 14th in my head. It's the 12th.
I'm going to go into the counties and try to find out why they have the percentages that they have.
Okay.
Why did King lower theirs this last time? Why does, I forget which county, one of the counties is 8. Why is that charter government going with 8? And
Yeah.
Dave, you asked the question, is it the number we're worried about or the percentage? And I thought, when you think about that, that's an interesting issue.
Well, the percentage is what they do, but it becomes a high number because so many people voted at the last election, and it's a gubernatorial
It's a
election that they
gubernatorial.
go on. Yeah, and so yeah, it's both a number and a percentage, but we can't have the number in the thing. You have to have the percentage rather than the
Right.
number, because
I was thinking about it in terms of selling it.
Yes.
Do we want
yeah,
the-
no, list the fact it's almost 2,000 signatures for our small county.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, no, you're right. Okay, well, so we do have things to talk about next week, and let's get back together and talk about them.
Right.
What do you think?
Okay.
Should we adjourn at 7:59?
Nobody from the public has joined us.
No, but probably, I don't even know how to find it. I think on the county website, so they can't. But
Patty,
maybe they can.
can I make a request? When you talk to Camilla, can you get
Yeah.
maybe think of some just information she can give us about initiatives in this county? How many initiatives have run? And also, what is the initiative? I haven't looked at one yet. Like, what does a formal initiative look like? Is there, can she email us like a PDF of what they look like and what?
If they have anything like that.
Oh, they do.
This
They do.
works?
'Cause when you do them, they have to be in a set format, and the language of the initiative has to be on the top where everybody's signing.
Mhm. And actually, I could come up with a list of questions like, do they check all signatures or do they just spot check?
Could you email me a list of questions
Okay.
for, God, I have a
I'll-
hard time with her.
Yeah, I mean,
Carmelin, Camelin is her name.
Camelin. Yeah, and maybe I can. Oh, maybe we can. I'll send out some questions I can think up of, and we can all add to the list, and
Sure thing.
that'd be great.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
Okay, yay, okay. All right, let's see.
Made a
So,
day.
I guess
Patty, you're gonna stop the recording?
I will. Okay, stop recording. Where do we go?
Do
There
we,
we
do we need to move to adjourn?
Oh, we probably
Move to
do.
adjourn.
Oh,
Second.
Second.
second. Okay, and now I'm stopping recording. Okay, stop.